Alright, now let's see how we can add a list to this page. So anytime I want to work with Ionic components, first I have a look at the documentation to see what is available to me. So let's say we want to add a list. We go to Components, and here we have Lists. We can see the sample code for basic lists, inset lists for dividers, headers, icons, and so on. So let's take a look at basic lists. This is all we have to write. So we have the ion-list element, and inside this element we have one or more ion-items. Now this ion-item can be applied as an attribute to a button, like this example, or it can be an element on its own. I will show you the difference in a second. So back in VS Code, let's go to home.html. I'm going to clear the content of ion-content and add ion-list. Inside this, I'm going to add ion-item as an element and duplicate this a couple of times. Now in the terminal, Ionic serve. And here's the result in the browser. Now I want to replace these elements with attributes. So I'm going to add a button, give it ion-item attribute, and duplicate it a couple of times. Save. Back in the browser, but there is no difference here. However, if we run this on iOS, you will see a chevron to the right of each item. So back in the terminal, I'm going to stop this process and run Ionic run iOS-L. Okay, here's our simulator, and note that we have a chevron to the right of each item. And this is useful when you want to implement a master detail scenario. Also, note that we have a bit of padding around the page. And this is because of this padding attribute on ion-content. So if I remove this, this is what we get, which is cleaner. Now let's take this to the next level. So instead of hard coding these items here, I want to use ng4 to render them dynamically. So let item of items, and here we use string interpolation to render item. And then we delete these two buttons. Now let's go to home.ts, declare a field here, items, set it to an array, item 1, item 2, and item 3. So we get the same result. Now, in a real-world application, instead of hard coding an array here, chances are you're getting the data from Firebase. So this items field would be unobservable. Then in our template, all we have to do is to apply the async pipe here. As simple as that. For now, I'm going to revert this because we want to focus entirely on Ionic. Next, I'm going to show you how to add a new page to this application.